Hello and welcome back to another Discovery Center Digital Lab. My name's Mr. Malcolm and we are joined today by our lovely coral reef tank. So in here we have a bunch of different types of coral. We have two huge toadstool coral. We also have a bunch of snails, a sea urchin, and we have a clownfish in the back as well. Now, there's a lot of media about coral reefs disappearing, and today I'm going to show you a little experiment of why they're disappearing in the laboratory. All right, so we're back in the lab, and today we're going to talk a little bit about bases and acids and why that affects the coral reef. So, you're probably very familiar with all sorts of different acids. Acids are pretty easy to find. Who here has ever drank lemonade? Probably most of us, right? Who here has ever eaten salad dressing, tasted vinegar? Most of us again. So, right here we have an acid. Now, while vinegar and other acids like lemonade are pretty tasty most of the time, they wouldn't be very fun to bathe in or even to live in. Can you imagine living in a pool full of lemonade? It'd be pretty painful if you got a little paper cut, right? Now, here we have a bunch of different bases as well. So, bases are usually found in things like soap. So you're probably very familiar with bases too. They're also found in cilantro, which is why some people think that it tastes soapy. Now, I have right here a little indicator, and when I add it to the acid, what's going to happen is nothing. So the indicator only indicates when it is in contact with a base. So here, even if I stir it, I put it over the light right here, we don't see any different colors in here. But when I add a few drops to the base, we're gonna put it over the light right here, you will see that it instantly turns purple, pink, kind of magenta. So that indicates that this is a very strong base, all right? Now, what I have right here is I have a little bit of tap water. Now, tap water and ocean water, they have different sorts of minerals in it, but they're about the same alkalinity, which means that they're slightly basic. Now, since they are slightly basic, when I add the indicator, it should turn slightly pink. So I'm going to add a few drops, and you can see that it turns slightly pink. We see that nice pink color? All right, so now, I said in a previous video that we can dissolve certain things into the water. We can dissolve almost anything in water because it's called a universal solvent. So that means anything that comes into contact will somewhat dissolve in water. Now, I showed you that we could actually dissolve gases in water. And one of the gases I want to dissolve in the water is carbon dioxide. So I need a good source of carbon dioxide, and for that I'm going to use my lungs. Now, when we breathe in oxygen, and then our body uses that oxygen to go all over our body so that we could power our bodies. Now, when we breathe out carbon dioxide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dissolve a bunch of carbon dioxide into this water. Now you can see that the water turned clear. But what does that mean? So what that means is that it went from being slightly basic, just like the ocean water and just like our tap water would be, to slightly acidic. So since it went from slightly basic to slightly acidic, it's more like lemonade now than it is like the ocean water. Now, there are a lot of essential minerals in ocean water, like calcium, sodium, lots of different minerals that help corals make up their shells, that help corals survive and live. If they're in acidic water, then these minerals have a harder time getting to the corals. And that is why the coral reefs are slowly disappearing. Now, what's causing the carbon dioxide to get into the water? Well, the movement of the water helps dissolve the carbon dioxide, but the carbon dioxide has to get up into the air in the first place. and that's being caused by lots of burning of fossil fuels. So, what we need to do, we need to cut down on our fossil fuel usage. That way we can save the coral reefs. But this has been a little digital lab for you guys. I hope you guys are having fun. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And everybody stay safe and have fun.